Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. We still on Fanboy Fridays, and you know there's been lots of videos where I've done a part 2 to the series, some even a part 3, but I think this is the first time I did part 2 in one day. But here we are. Fanboys, you know what to do. If you're in your feelings, go ahead and click off. If you're gonna get in your feelings, go ahead and click off. If you feel like I'm hating, go ahead and click off. If you want to tell me, well, you're just mad because you will never be as successful as LeBron James, go ahead and click off. This video's not for you. So I want to give a shout out to Sports and Fitness Rants. I was checking out a video of his today where he was doing a response to Jimmy High Roller. And he brought out something very important that we've talked about on this channel several times. And that is, I guess basically Jimmy was talking about players of the past being one-dimensional, and the Sports and Fitness Rant said, hey, no. Guys were specialists. They specialized in something. They weren't the jack of all trade, master of none that we tend to see on a regular basis today. And since, people want to attack the 90s and whatnot, we're going to keep on this theme today and go ahead and do this part 2 while we're done with LeBron James in the LeBron James era. Before we get into this, I just want to bring something up. You fanboys want to know how you know your king is not the GOAT? Because people always have to sidestep questions when it comes to LeBron. I mean, NBA players, former and present, they always have to sidestep the question with some alternate answer. For example, so do you think LeBron is the GOAT? Well, LeBron might be the greatest all-around player of all time. Do you think LeBron is the GOAT? Well, LeBron James has probably had the best career of all time. Let me ask you something, fanboys. How would you feel if you asked your girlfriend, if you guys have one, because that would be kind of hard to believe, but if you have one who's maybe a fan girl, so that y'all are members of the CFL together, if you have one, what if you ask your girl, hey, am I, I can't even get this out. Hey, am I the best lover you've ever had? And she's like, well, you may be the best all around. You may be the best all around lover I've had. What does that say to you? Yeah, we all know the answer to that. What does that say to you? You can't front on this question. Yeah, exactly. So the fact that people have to always sidestep the question and give you an alternate answer of what LeBron is great at or what he may be the best at tells you he's not the GOAT, fanboys. And you know this. You guys know this in your heart. But anyway, let's get back to why we are done with LeBron James. Like I said, LeBron James has ruined the standard in the NBA. He has brought the level of consistency down by being a stat stuffer and setting the standard to be a stat stuffer. Setting the standard to be a stat stuffer is setting the standard to be a jack of all trades, master of none, which everything in the NBA is consistent. That's why you see games where, I feel like we have a lot of blowouts in today's NBA. A lot of blowouts. And to me, it didn't used to be like that. To me, just a complete blowout was something you wouldn't see that often. But now it happens. And why? Because we have shifted to the three-point shot, which the three-point shot, however you want to use the analytics to say, well, shooting 30% from three is just as good as shooting 50% from two. However you want to use it, the bottom line is the three-point shot will never be as consistent as a two-point shot. A three-point shot will never be as consistent as a layup. So meaning if you rely on the three-point shot, you are going to be less consistent. Yeah, there are going to be some games where you're hot and you can blow a team out, but there's also going to be some games where if you don't understand that, hey, you need to be taking twos, you're going to get blown out. The three-point shot will never be as consistent as a two or a layup. That's just what it is. And that creates less consistency in the game. But as far as LeBron James, like I said, this all-around player that they like to say he is, the best all-around, this is a stat-stuffing type of mentality. And if everybody on the team, everything works best when there's a hierarchy. I've said this before. When there is a clear line of defined roles, whether it's business, whether it's family, everything works best that way. And when you have a team full of people where you don't know who is your first and second option always, where 1 minute it's AD, 1 minute it's LeBron, 1 minute it's Austin Reeves, 1 minute it's D'Lo. That sets for inconsistent play because you have an inconsistent system. And this is one of the biggest problems with LeBron, again, is this inconsistency. See, here's the thing. This is why so many people wind up being the scapegoat for LeBron. Pay attention, fanboys. This is why so many people wind up being a scapegoat for your king. Because your king wants to be thought of as a scorer. He wants to be in that conversation, but we all know LeBron James does not have the bag to be the type of scorer that Kobe or Mike was. So because LeBron James is capable of having great games, again, we're not saying he's not capable. He's inconsistent and he's not capable of consistently doing it. So what happens is that when LeBron James has a great game, then all the praise is on LeBron. But because he can't do it consistently, because he can't consistently do it when it is needed, then the moment he has a meltdown, they shift the blame to someone else. Because again, they keep pushing this narrative that he's such a great scorer when he's not as great a scorer as they like to say he is. He's not a consistent scorer. You cannot depend. LeBron does not have the tools in his bag to get a bucket at will. Again, I go back to the video I just did earlier about Dwayne Wade beating LeBron in one-on-one, but I also mentioned in that video that Carmelo talked about playing one-on-one with Michael Jordan, but it wasn't about the competition. He said Michael Jordan was teaching him. And he said, sometimes Michael Jordan would say, hey, you got one dribble to score. You got two dribbles to score. You got three dribbles to score. See, this is the kind of thing that LeBron does not have. LeBron is lacking in definitive ways to get off a shot, in definitive ways to score. So LeBron is much more reliant on getting hot, so to speak. He's much more reliant on that. Yeah, if he's hot, then great. If he's in one of those moments, then great. But the problem is you can't rely on that. So again, when LeBron James is hot and he's great and he's carried the team, then all praise on LeBron. But when that is not happening, they immediately just shift the blame to someone else. And that someone else could be a number of people. It could be another teammate. It could be the coach. It could be the front office. Just take your pick. It might be everybody. LeBron James needs a new team, a new coach, and a new front office consistently in his career. So, yeah, this whole stat stuffing mentality creates that inconsistency. When we think back to the 90s, even the early 2000s, and of course the 80s and 70s, like people had defined roles. This is why I said, despite these teams so-called being more talented, which is false, because again, if a lot of these players had to play back in the 90s where you couldn't put your hand under the ball, then we're seeing a lot less great handles, so-called great handles, you know. But if a lot of these teams had to play in the 90s, you know, you fanboys would be severely disappointed that they could not compete with teams that had defined roles. You know, when I think about teams like Portland with Drexler, but then you had players who were just like bringing the hustle and contributed in smaller ways, like Buck Williams or Cliff Robinson, players like that. You know, it's like having a defined, okay, this is the first option always, this is the second option always, and everybody else is doing things that the team needs, like rebounding or hustle plays or boxing out. You know, some teams had shot blockers, definitive, but having a thing that you specialize in so that you can be focused on that one thing is going to be much more beneficial than all five players trying to do everything. Because guess what? All five players will never be able to do everything unless your name is Michael Jordan. But even with that, like I said, Michael Jordan defied conventional wisdom by being able to win without a big man. But again, think about if Michael Jordan had a definitive shot blocker on his team, a definitive big man who was either a serious defensive presence or offensive presence or both. Like if he had Shaq, or heaven forbid if he had someone like Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah. So LeBron James ushered in this era of stat stuffing and everybody trying to do everything, again, which is not the best route for success. And this is why the NBA as a whole is inconsistent. Like I said, this is why we have so many blowouts nowadays, because everyone is trying to do everything. But anyway, we gonna hold up here. Fanboys, I know it's about to get rough on you. It's getting rough on you. It's already rough on you. I feel like these last couple of months, it's been so many people speaking out. You know, these allegations to me are at a point. Who was I watching the other day? Man, I was watching some past podcaster. I can't remember if it was an NBA player or a sports analyst, was basically trying to say that the rumors against LeBron couldn't be true. You know, oh, they did this testing and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, and Tristan Thompson got caught. And if LeBron hadn't came up, hadn't been proved to be on it yet, like it's just rumors. I'm like, yeah, good luck. We all know LeBron got a lot of money and a lot of power to keep these things hidden if he wants to. Especially with the NBA, you know, Commissioner Baltimore having his back. So, you know, they probably doing their best to keep this under wraps. But like I said, I feel like it's, again, not saying definitively, we're gonna keep saying allegedly, wink wink, on this channel. But more than likely. So I know you fanboys have been under a lot of pressure. You know, that's why you coming up with all attacking the 90s, and it's getting bad because, you know, even on this channel, I notice more and more you guys really aren't saying anything except hater. Like that is really ramped up, and I understand why. Like I said, I feel sorry for you guys because your whole world is on the verge of crashing down. But anyway, you know, that's life, and you can either start dealing with it now or you can wait till the whole curtain comes down and have to deal with it all at once. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What other ways have made you done with LeBron James? Let me know what you guys think. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.